Well, at this point, let's see if we can join Mr. Seun Oni, who is going to be analyzing some of these topical issues with us this morning. Seun Oni is the editor-in-chief of the Daily Courier. Hello and a very good morning to you, Mr. Seun. Thank you so much for finding the time to come on the program this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chijoke. Been a while.
It has really indeed been a while. Well, first things first, let's jump into political matters, Mr. Seun. The ADC is blowing hot at EFCC. Now, this is following the, invitation for interview as portrayed by the EFCC, and then further detention of the former Sokoto State Governor and a key member of the coalition within the ADC, talking about Alhaji Aminu Waziri Tambuwal. Now, some other ex-governors have also been invited. Now, ADC is accusing EFCC and, of course, the Tinubu-led administration of not really fighting corruption, but going after opposition members. What do you say to this, Mr. Seun?
We have our institutions to protect, despite the history behind the political office holders using these agencies of government to hunt oppositions. We must be very careful that we don't demean and reduce institutions because of our very parochial and narrow political interests. So if he has been alleged to have embezzled or mismanaged about 189 billion, he should have his day in court to explain, and let's move forward from there.
Now, I might want us to move away from the issue of the ADC and the EFCC. Ex-Secretary to the Governor of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, has accused the administration of President Bola Tinubu of favoring mostly his Yoruba allies and sidelining his non-Yoruba supporters. Now, these are very hefty allegations from the side of the SGF, to the Tinubu-led administration. On the other hand, he also stated that he has proof that Peter Obi of the Labour Party won the 2023 general elections. Where do you think these comments are stemming from? Is this from a hurtful point of view, or what exactly is going on with the elder statesman and former SGF?
Well, that's a question on the heart of everyone, since his tirade and outburst yesterday. But to be honest, his submission, in my opinion, will be coming from a place of deep-seated hurt for very obvious reasons. He was at the forefront of Asiwaju's emergence before we now had the challenge of who becomes the deputy. And that's the vice president.
Yes.
And he, of course, himself and people from his bloc, the middle belt part of the country, their thinking was that someone from maybe Bauchi, Taraba, Adamawa, Aziz will get the shot. But eventually went to the northeast, where we have the incumbent vice president from. Since then, it's been one either comical comment or very extremely biased and non-factual comments. So this is just one of such comments from the former SGF. And I think it's unfortunate that someone of his caliber, pedigree, just go on TV set, and every time he's speaking before the camera, such non-factual comments. This idea of favoring Southerners or people from his Yoruba background has always been in the news for a while. But in my opinion, the facts really don't suggest that. What we have seen in the past 2 years plus is that people who have positioned themselves that, because I knew a few of them, at least by my job as a journalist, who were very confident that they were going to get something from the administration. But the moment a year, and some of them not even waiting up to a year, they didn't get what they thought they would get. They just threw cautions to the wind and started casting aspersion, throwing innuendos. But a few of them who were patient enough, up till yesterday, some lists were released, and some of people that felt they have not received anything since got their own shot. So I think it's a bit petty, to be honest with you.
Now, this is also from the point of view that the coalition within the ADC was formed mainly to unseat the administration of President Bola Tinubu ahead of 2027, and that the strong backbone behind the coalition is from the northern region. And if you remember the likes of the former Kaduna State Governor and former Minister of the FCT, Malam Nasser El-Rufai, whom was supposed to have been appointed as minister, but you remember the drama that followed that nomination, and his further actions of deciding to leave the country and all of those things that happened then. This is one of the comments that, or the happenings that the SGF is having his comments on, that indeed the president is sidelining people who are not his supporters, his allies who are not of the Yoruba ethnicity, especially northerners in the country, whom he should have given some sort of appointment, being that they supported his vision and his drive towards getting into the presidential villa in Asoro.
Hello. Hello.
Well,
Hello.
the central nerve of
Hello.
politicking
Hello.
is
Hello.
interest. As simple as that word is, it actually is the nucleus of politicking. But sadly, like human wants, interests can be so many, and the resources, the opportunities and openings to massage such interests are always limited. That is the reality of politicking anywhere in the world. We saw the brickbat between the wealthiest man in the world and the most powerful man in the world, in the United States, a few months ago.
Yes.
It boils down to interest. It's the same everywhere. It's a global thing. But what people have learned is that if your interest is not met today, all you need to do is strategize. And for me, the ADC is a good way of doing that. But unguarded comments that pitches one part of the country against the other, especially when it's coming from elder statesmen, former secretary to the government of the federation, former governors, former senators, says a lot about our patriotic bent as a people. And for me, that is a concern. If you want to form a coalition against the president, it should be coalition based on policy issues, and not personal brickbat the way we are seeing. The very day he was speaking, I think the former presidential candidate of Labour Party was in another fora, and he was very clear that if it was a coalition to hijack power, he is not part of it. But if it's a coalition to reverse what he termed poverty, unemployment, and the rise of insecurity, he's in it, and that's why he's joining the coalition. I think that looks more like a reasonable reason for forming a coalition, not because you want to pay back someone who did not reward a part of the country and is rewarding just one part of the country. You can't take that to campaign grants and win any election in this country.
Now, there is an argument here that the president has decided, or since inception of this administration, has chosen to give juicy appointments to Southwesterners. Now, these are not my words. These are comments coming in from different parts of the country. Institutions like the EFCC, a position like the IGP, the CBN governor, defense, the chief of army staff, lots of DMGs, DGs, controllers, and all of that. That most of these positions have gone to Southwesterners. Now, Mr. Seun, you are also a Southwesterner and a Yoruba man. Are you of the opinion that maybe the nepotism that the last administration was accused of is also what this administration is doing and towing that same part, in your opinion?
Well, in my opinion, if you ask me, I will say yes and no.
How so?
Yes. The fact that the number seems to suggest that we are now having a lot of Southwesterners, and even those who are not Southwesterners have one affinity or the other with Southwest. Either their names, or you are tracing their route back to Southwest, or somehow due to marriage they have some connection with Southwest.
Yeah.
On that part you can say yes, but no in the fact that a part of the country seems to have those positions as their birthright. Mention EFCC for instance. Since the inception of EFCC, aren't we surprised as a nation that it seems it's only a northerner that has integrity to sit as the chairman of EFCC? So it's just normal. If somebody is coming and say no, let another part of the country take it, then it just looks like he's giving it to people from the south. But a part of the country, practically, like yesterday, the chairman of the what's this board called again? Federal Character Commission was announced.
Yes. And
a Yoruba woman from Osun State, a highly respected former lawmaker in the Green Chambers, was mentioned as the chairman. And the song, the trend all across social media was that, as usual, he has given it to a Southwesterner. But just look at the history. The chairman of FCC had always come from one part of the country.
What part of the country?
The northern part of the country before now.
Okay.
The person living there is from Kwara. The person who lived there before now was from the core north. It's the same with the INEC chairman. I won't be surprised if the next chairman is going to be a southerner, and everyone will start screaming. But the two successive chairmen of INEC, including the incumbent, is from the north. So are we saying in order to assuage the what I would call birthright mentality of a part of the country, Southerners who are qualified should not be given a position?
Mr. Seun, let me just give you a list of offices that have been given to individuals from the southwestern region, to aid this conversation. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy is from the Southwest. So is the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Minister of Interior, Minister of Power, Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, the CBN Governor, Chief of Army Staff, Inspector General of Police, Chairman of the FIRS, Director General of the Department of State Services, Comptroller General of Customs, Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Managing Director, Nigeria Railway Corporation. The list goes on. It's almost 30 here, or 30 something. All Southwesterners. Don't you think other parts of the country are a little bit aggrieved by this sort of lopsided nature of appointments, and that's why the SGF has been blowing hot and being irate since yesterday?
That's why I'm still telling you that we are almost saying the same thing. That's why I use the term yes and no. All right. For instance, if I'm going to speak for any region that I felt had really not gotten a fair share in this administration, I'll be speaking for the Southeast.
That's
not
correct.
Even the South.
Yeah.
or any of the geopolitical zones in the north. So let's go back. Some of those names you reeled out. Let's pick digital economy, for instance. The immediate minister of digital economy is from Gombe. So how do you now equate just somebody from Gombe leaving the saddle, somebody from Ogun stepped in, and you said it is giving Southerners or Southwest a preference? That will not be correct. Go again, pick another office, the FIRS that people always tout. The person who left there is an Hausa man.
Yeah, carry on, Mr. Seun.
If we begin this analysis and we are picking it one after the other, so it's more like the tradition we had before now. Let me pick immigration and customs. Those very respected agencies. It's more like the only people who qualify to sit on them are only northerners. I was in the office of the immigration, what was his name? The man who took over after Paradigm.
Yeah.
I was privileged to be in his office a few years ago, and I looked through the wall of the I had to raise a comment that this seems to be a northern affairs. We just had about two, someone from southeast and that from south in between. It's one northerner, another northerner, and I asked, is it that we had, because we had that in the judiciary in the early years of the judiciary, where you always have seniority depending on who gets the Chief Justice of the Federation, and most of the people during that period were more Yorubas. But the moment you now have northerners who are in that position, we can predict who becomes what and after who in that part of the judicial arm of our government.
Your final points, Mr. Seun. We have just about 30 seconds to wrap up.
All right. So this is a clear call even to the presidency that why we need to ensure that federal character prevails. Every part of the country must ensure that what belongs rightly to them constitutionally is given to them, but not this noise of not. It should be about the 6 geopolitical zones getting their fair share.
All right, Mr. Seun Oni, we must thank you so much. Quite very pertinent points you have relayed home this morning. Thank you. It's been a pleasure having this conversation with you.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to be on the show.
All right.